Hey there, welcome to Simply Speaking. I am Brandon DeVere. Thank you, as always, for tuning in and sharing your time with me. I do appreciate that. Today, we have an amazing guest. Very excited to speak with him. Top 250 in Las Vegas, team leader, the one and only James Sharp. How's it going, James?
Thank you. It's going good. Thanks for having me, Brandon. I appreciate it. Looking really forward to this whole experience here. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, look, kick stuff off real quick by just kind of give us an idea, like a little quick backstory, and then how you got into real estate and kind of how you settled on
absolutely
the Vegas market.
Absolutely, yeah. So I'm originally from New Jersey. I've been out here though for a very long time now. I crossed that threshold of more than half of my life out here because I moved out in 2004. What brought me out here was UNLV. Wanted to do hotel management, so I went to UNLV, got my degree in hotel management. Graduated right at the height of the recession. Was working in the industry at the time. Wasn't a lot of entry-level management positions to scoop up in 2008. So kind of just worked in the industry for a while and kind of did that. But like most of us who got burnt out doing that and wanted to do something different, kind of get away from that lifestyle that wasn't really aligning with me anymore. And that's where I found real estate. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I did almost the exact same thing. Like I was in hospitality. I didn't go to UNLV, but I was in like working through. I worked at the Four Seasons Hotel, and so that hospitality like nature and background has really formed how I've taken my business through the last 2 decades. Like how much did it affect or influence your business?
It's huge. Obviously with hospitality, it's all about making that connection with people, and that's what I still build my business on. It's not about how many deals can I close or how much volume can I. To me, it's about how many repeat clients can I have, right? Yeah. And if you're in the industry, that's what you want. You want those repeat clients because we don't want to be the flash in the pan where it's just they come once and then you never see them again. That's not a good way to build your business. So a ton of similarities between the hospitality industry and what we're doing now. Yeah. Yeah,
and I remember the numbers because they would talk to us about them, like the retention versus acquisition, like to retain someone was like a tenth of the cost or something crazy.
Yep.
And obviously when you're building your business that way and people are having a good experience, you're getting them to also refer other people to you.
Absolutely.
And so they're kind of, instead of like running Facebook ads, you have these people all talking about the experience that they had.
100%. And then when you get that referral, it's like on a silver platter for you. Almost half the work is already done. Yeah. It came from someone that they know, love, and trust, and you already got, more than 1 foot in the door.
So, yeah. Okay. So the hospitality angle you have, I mean, Vegas is pretty competitive. I mean, we have it's tough to keep track. Sometimes I hear we have 18,000 agents, sometimes 15,000.
I know, 19,000.
19,000. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's the difference between what are non-MLS licensed agents and that type of thing. But I mean, in such a competitive market, what would you attribute like your success and like more specifically to the top 250? Because that's, I mean, I'm assuming you're pretty proud of that. I mean, that's a pretty great honor.
I was shocked, that I got that award this past year. I'm just a big proponent of I just put my head down and I just get to it, and I know this is probably the most tired and boring answer that we hear at every single convention and everything like that. But it really does come down to consistency. Yeah. That's it. Because we work in this like catch-22 industry where if you wake up in the morning and you don't feel like doing anything, you don't have to.
Yeah.
And that's like a blessing and a curse. It was very scary for me at first because, again, getting back to what we were just saying, I was an industry guy. I had my schedule. I knew when I was working, and it was great. And so that was a big change for me. Holding myself responsible for like, hey, are you making your calls? Are you making content? Are you emailing your sphere? Whatever it may be. But once I got that consistency down pat, which came with seeing the results, because like you're like, oh shit, this is working. I kind of want to keep doing this. Like I don't ever want to fall out of the top 250 now. I'm going to just continue to raise the bar for myself. But it really is consistency. That's it. And what's cool though about our job is that there's so many different facets. There's people that their consistency is doing 3 or 4 open houses every week.
Yeah.
That's not my cup of tea. I'll do an open house. I have no problem doing that. But we all know those agents that it's like, man, they're itching if they don't even have an open house to do, right? Obviously, then I'm big on the social media. Like if I haven't posted in a while, I'm like, oh man, I'm losing it. So And then, there's people that call expireds, and there's people that do mailers, and, all those community outreach things. That's what's so cool about our industry is there's so many different ways to succeed. But sticking and being consistent with one or two of those, because again, you can't be like a master of all of those. You spread yourself too thin, and you're just going to become kind of jack of all trades, master of none type thing. So I think picking one or two things that you're really good at and just hammering those every day. Yep.
Yeah. On the consistency aspect, I think we've kind of been conditioned. Like, we know we're supposed to be consistent, but we're conditioned that we should be able to do everything.
Yeah.
As well. And so like when we see the cycle of like agents that won't close a deal for 3 months, and then they close 3 deals.
Yep.
And then they won't close a deal for another 3 months.
Yeah.
And because they're trying to lead gen, prospect, then show homes, and then write contracts, and then, do open houses and do all these different things. And I think that's the biggest challenge for consistency is trying to state it, like you said, one or two things, just do those two. But it's so easy to be like, oh, I saw a coach today and he said I should be doing this. And it's completely left field, and you're not good at it.
Yeah.
Like I like, Gary Vee and David Goggins. But they have two kind of different ideas. And Goggins is like, do the stuff that you don't like. Gary Vee is like, triple down on the stuff that you're good at and that you do like. And so that's where, I see people trying to pick up different spots. So great advice on that for sure.
And the one thing I just want to add to that too is, when you're new and you're still trying to figure out what you're good at, you have to give it some time.
Yeah.
You can't just say, I posted once, I didn't get anything. Yeah. I'm never going to post again. Man, that's career suicide in my mind. Yeah. Or I did one open house, no one came, so those are a huge waste of time. No. And that's what I think attributes to the high turnover in this, is that we're such a instant satisfaction society now that it's like, I did this once and I didn't get my $1 million buyer. Yeah. Man, this is too hard, or I'm just not going to commit to that. That's what separates the people who really, and you see it as you progress in this, kind of like the cream rises to the top. You see the top people, you see their stuff all the time. They're posting, they're closing, they're out, they're socializing, they're networking, they're doing all those things. And it's not a huge surprise that they're also in the top, whatever, 500,000 agents,
Yeah. So, No, absolutely. Definitely great point for that. So now you establish yourself in Vegas.
Yeah.
You're top 250.
Yeah.
And of all the, there's a ton of different brokerages that you could join. Like, what was it about simpliHŌM that kind of drew you to that model?
Yeah. So, I took a look at some different brokerages and things like that, but the one thing, and I don't know why, because you're an industry person, one of the worst things ever in the industry is opening up a new venue. If anyone out there has opened up a new venue before, it can be a nightmare. There's so many things, like you have to go through all the trials and tribulations to make sure it's running successfully. But for some reason, I'm a glutton for punishment, I guess. And when I heard that simpliHŌM was going to be brand new, and obviously it's different, like opening a brokerage, it's not like, you have to order glassware and get all this and build out a menu and all those things. So it's kind of the same thing, but not really. But when I heard it was brand new, that's what immediately drew me. Because obviously you have a lot of the old school, been here for decades and have thousands of agents already. I didn't really want to walk into that.
Yeah.
I wanted to just go somewhere because I, was thinking about starting a team, and then eventually once I was like, it is time to start my team. And I was like, I just want to start fresh and new, and we'll all just do this together. That's what really drew me to that. Of course, also then with my first Zoom meeting with Sean, within 10 minutes of hearing him talk, I was like, this is a guy I can relate to. Yeah. This is a guy that I want to work for, essentially, however you want to put it. To me, I liked that it was brand new, it was fresh, it was kind of like, we can kind of do. And what I liked about Sean was like, I don't know about Vegas. And that's why our next guest, Lisa, she's absolutely amazing. It was kind of like, Lisa, you tell me how we need to run Vegas. Yeah. And it was like, okay, we got it. And I love that too, because then you can do it. And obviously Sean was super supportive, and you guys build your own brands and things like that, which is always very important to me too. So really at first it was like that it's the new, fresh thing. And we were kind of able to write our own way of how we were going to do it out here. And I think that was very important.
Okay. So, what is, and I agree with that too. Sean has been great as far as, everything. Hey, what about this? What about that? He's always willing to listen. Yeah. And if he doesn't think it's a good idea, he'll let you know. Yep. And he'll say why. But if you, still talk to them, he'll be like, okay, let's try it out then.
Right.
So I think that's really, really helpful for the growth as well.
Absolutely.
And not just such a limited mindset.
Yeah.
So coming over, like what is something that you feel that you were able to do at simpliHŌM that you wouldn't have been able to do at, maybe a brick and mortar or another model?
Yeah, just a few of the highlights. I really liked like the onboarding process, and not to say other places don't have onboarding processes, but the way that they just streamlined it. 5 to 10 minute videos, just boom, boom, boom. Get to, they don't just like drop this like 300 page notebook on your desk. Hey, read through all this. It was up to date with the times of what was going on, of like how we take things in. Short form video content of like quick, here's bullet point stuff. This is what you need to know. And then obviously just, leaning into the things like AI, leaning into things like getting you paid super quick. I mean, I closed the deal this morning. My check is already here. Like that's mind blowing to me. There's no old school paper checks and things like that.
By check, you mean it was deposited in your account?
It's in there. It's in there. I can transfer it. It's in there. So, those were the things that were really, that seemed to separate, simpliHŌM from the rest of them. So,
yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So as far as your team goes, you were a co-leader of a team, almost 100 agent team at one point, and kind of like probably were thinking about eventually creating your own team. Yeah. Yep. And then this opportunity pops up, and you decide to go for it. Yeah. What had you excited to create a team at simpliHŌM? Like, as you're thinking about creating your team, was it you're coming to simpliHŌM, then you're like, no, I guess I'll create a team now? Or did you have that in mind, and then you were like, now I need to find out what, for lack of a better term, what operating system am I going to plug into to run my team? So
when I was deciding to make the switch, I wasn't fully committed on whether or not I was ready to handle a team. Okay. I didn't, I was kind of like, man, I'm making a move over. Sorry, I was just going to be, I got to worry about myself I got to worry about myself and my family. I got to make sure this is the right move for me and things like that. And then I can but then once I got here and I was like, no, like I have people that are still reaching out to me that are like, hey, can you help me with this? What's your insight on this? It was just like kind of like the writing was on the wall where it was like there was too many signs for me to ignore. Yeah. And it was like, hey, people obviously, I used to run some like Agent 101 training sessions at my very first brokerage. And there's plenty of times we had like 10, 20 people in the room. And I was kind of like, damn, you guys are here to just listen to me? I was like, I barely know barely know what I'm doing. But I'm like, man, I'm still kind of figuring some of this stuff out. But I was like, okay, I got some good stuff. And I kept getting good feedback and things like that. And then like I said, it was just like this natural progression. But it was the best thing ever now because I just wake up every morning and I'm just like, how do I go about providing value to my team? And I love it now because I've always loved training people. Like back in the industry, I always loved that. I'm like, hey, let me show you how things are done. Like, let me show you the most efficient way to do this. Or, hey, I've done this wrong 16 different ways. I'm going to help you avoid all that time, energy, and maybe money. And I'm going to tell you what works, what doesn't work. So now we're up to about 10 members, and I just absolutely love it. It's like the best thing ever. We're on the group chat, and like, I mean, again, it's not like I don't get excited when I close a deal. Of course I do. But like when they close a deal, I'm so much more excited. Yeah. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Like, how did we get that lead? What did we do? Like, I was just helping another agent yesterday, like a request for repairs came over and we were representing the seller. They wanted $4,500 in closing costs. We got it down to like $1,000. And she was like, oh my God, this is great. And I was like, we got you. Like, don't worry about it. Like, this is what we're here for. And then, but what's great, it's not about like, I came in and saved the day. It's about she learned now for the next time how to go about and do that. Ask them for invoices. Where did they get their $4,500 from? They didn't have any answer for that. Like we pressure them just a little bit. How about $1,000? Okay, yeah, we'll take that. Cool. Now we just saved our seller $3,500. But again, it's all those good teaching moments where they become an even better agent, where you continue to provide that value so they stay with you, but now they start to feel more confident and they go out and they close more deals, and that makes everybody happy. So
yeah, no, I mean did you play sports growing up?
Yeah, baseball, basketball.
What position in baseball?
I was everywhere. I was like shortstop.
I was gonna say shortstop.
Yeah, I would play it everywhere. Yeah.
What about basketball? Where you playing?
Oh, I certainly wasn't no center. I was guard. Okay, just throwing up threes. Okay, that was it.
All right, no, but so typically like a point guard or like a catcher or like a shortstop are kind of like typically like the leaders, like kind of up the middle in baseball, right? Like typically like center fielder, shortstop, and catcher. But it sounds like you have just a natural ability to lead, and not necessarily by necessarily by words, but more like by actions.
Yeah.
And people want to follow that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, agents typically have a kind of like a timeline of what when they get into they certainly get in the business, or when they first get in the business, it's like they're either on a team or maybe a solo agent, or maybe they end up going on their own, and then maybe want a team later. If you were an agent right now getting into the business, would you go solo, or would you find a team, or at the very least a mentor of some sort?
I can't stress this enough. I'm going to look right in the camera that the guy producing this show told me to look at. Please join a team or find a mentor. I could not imagine doing this by yourself right out of school. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to put down any of the schools out there. They teach you just enough, but it's not enough because. And it's not even their fault, because you need to get those real world reps. Yeah. That's what you need to do. You need to go through those shitty transactions. You need to have the nightmare buyer or the nightmare seller that's putting you under stress and things like that. Because it's like, what do they say? Like pressure hardens or diamond or whatever. Yeah, like that's really what it is. Because if this was so easy, there wouldn't be 19,000 agents. There'd be 119,000 agents, So I definitely say, go join a team, go interview with different brokerages. Who's going to offer you the most experience? And I can't stress this enough, because I've met with agents before that want to join the team. And if the first thing out of their mouth is, so James, what type of leads are you going to provide me? They are not the right person for my team. Yeah. That is the wrong way to look at this business. You need a leader or a mentor that's going to teach you how to fish, not just hand you a fish. And I can't stress that enough, because I see it more and more. There was just a huge merger the other day with two big companies. Actually, there was two in back-to-back days. But one of them is a huge online lead. They bring in a bunch of online leads. And I got to finally understand what the splits are in these things, and it's crazy. You're paying 40 to 50% to the referral company, then you're paying 40 or 50% to your team owner, team lead, and then what's left over after that, you get your commission split on that or whatever it may be, and then you still have to pay taxes. Yeah. So it's like, wow, and after I just showed 30 homes to this buyer, I get this. Like, that's not the way to financial freedom, or in my opinion, on a way to build your business the right way. Because I think a lot of agents out there, they just get used to like, well, I can't, I'm like almost paralyzed until I get my next lead. You know, like, and hey, I'm not saying online leads are bad. Not saying that at all. They're a nice little kind of cherry on top. Don't sit around and wait for your next online lead. You have to have a mentor or a team owner that is teaching you social media, that is teaching you how to do open houses, that is teaching you how to prospect, that is teaching you how to talk to your sphere and make them aware that you're a real estate agent. You need all those things, because that's where you're going to make your real money. And then, hey, cool. Oh, I got this extra online lead this month. And now I closed that. That's just a little extra cherry on top, because you're not going to get to where you want to be with all those cuts. You'd have to close 1,000 of those to make up for like what you're not getting. So again, yes, join a team, or have good mentoring or shadowing, whatever it may be, whatever that looks like. Going solo is extremely difficult. I mean, maybe unless you're coming from a very experienced like corporate background or something like that. But if you're young and you're in this game and you don't have a lot of other job experience, please go join a team. Yes, very important.
In my experience, I got licensed. Somebody came and was just like, I was a hookah boy. I loaded bowls as the hookah boy at Payments here in town. And this guy would come in every Friday and be like, hey, can you pass a real estate exam? I'm like, oh, probably, if I tried. I had I completely, like a lot of agents, just like fell into real estate. Right. But I got with him, and then we ended up at 2 weeks later at 100% brokerage. He disappeared. I've only saw him in the newspaper, not even newspaper, but like a news story where he was breaking some law for something. But he disappeared on me. I was at 100% brokerage and working on my own. And what the time it took me, I wish I would have had somebody. I wish I had you saying, no, go join a team and learn and just crash course. Like, count it as your tuition. Yeah. Right. Like the cost of business, like you're going to go learn for the next year or two on a team. And then maybe you're good enough to move on from there. Yep. Or you see that. But if you're going to a team and you're just asking for leads, you're never going to be able to move on. Nope. You're not going to be able to get your own stuff.
You're not building a solid foundation of your business. That's what you're not doing. Yep.
Okay. So, in regards to your team and simpliHŌM in general, like what has you most excited for the future?
Yeah, I mean, for my team, I love the fact that we're really leaning into social media. So I pay for a YouTube editor. So everyone on my team has their own YouTube channel, and I'm huge on everyone grows their own business. Everyone has their own YouTube channel, all their own socials, all their own Google My Business. Like, we are going to grow an online presence for every single one of them. I guess obviously too with simpliHŌM, we're adding more agents by the day. We just added another team, which is fantastic with Crystal, right?
Oh, yeah, yep.
So I'm definitely excited for the brick and mortar building that's hopefully coming.
Yes.
Sean. No, I know we're working on it. But getting back to an even tighter sense of community, I like popping into the office and seeing who's there and just networking and, hey, what do you have going on? You got a new listing? I got a buyer. Like, I love all that stuff. So I'm very excited about the future for that as well. And yeah, just continuing to grow this team, not exponentially. I don't want to have 100 agents tomorrow by any stretch of the imagination. I want to keep this a tight knit thing where I always say, like, I want to be able to call my entire team within an hour, right? And get through everybody, right? Because I don't want to lose touch of any of them, and I want to make sure that I'm still providing enough value to them and I'm not stretched too thin. But just seeing them grow and, go from, closing 5 deals this year to 10 next year to 20 and so on and so forth. So we have a really good group right now, and I love it. Couldn't be happier.
Awesome. No, I love that approach to not just, it's kind of simpliHŌM as well. Like, we are growing, but it's kind of like a controlled and strategic growth, as opposed to just be like, let's hey, anybody want to come on the team?
You got a pulse and a real estate license? Get over here.
Yeah, and I've been hearing that from even some friends of mine that have been on teams, and they're just bouncing from one to the next, and it's just like they're coming in almost like the used car business, right? Or just the car business in general, where you come in and they're like, oh, they're probably not going to last, but we'll probably get a few car sales out of it, which is kind of a bummer, especially since we're kind of been under attack as agents for quite some time. So it's nice and refreshing to hear someone like yourself that is like, I want to be able to be there for my team. I don't need the giant number count.
No.
But if you could give a piece of advice to either, I know you kind of already, give that advice to join the team. In addition to that, like a piece of advice either to like a brand new agent or, maybe somebody thinking about getting their license, or maybe somebody who's been in the business for a decade and they're just kind of spinning their wheels. Yeah.
I mean, for newer agents, again, it is just seek out that I guess, because the biggest thing for me was the shadowing opportunities and being able to go listen to the listing appointments, be at buyer presentation, like whatever I could go to, I go to. Like, and that's what I do for my team. Every Sunday night, I send out a whole schedule of like, hey team, here are all the shadowing opportunities that I have this week. There's a listing appointment. I'm getting photos done this day. If you want to hear me sign listing paperwork with another client, or we want to go shoot content on a new build. Like, providing those is so valuable because that's where you get those reps in, or you get to hear those reps without being the one that's responsible for them or messing them up. And then, again, I beat this drum all the time, but if you're not active on social media, I don't know how people can find you nowadays. And that's sad, but it is what it is. It's a necessary evil in our business that we just have to be in front of people's phones all the time because that's where their face is. So I guess too, if you're nervous about again, you don't even really need to be in front of the camera. Just go create content. That's fine. Getting that out there would be vitally important. I don't know too much about if you're an experienced agent and you're spinning your wheels. I think that's probably more of a one-on-one thing of like, hey, what do you got going on? What's holding you back, or what changed, or things like that. But adapting to the new things is always going to be important. I pay a good chunk of change to a Google My Business coach, and she also runs my YouTube channel for me. And our last 5 meetings have all been not about Google My Business, but about how to show up on AI searches now, because that's going to be the new thing. People aren't asking Google anymore, who's the best real estate agent in Henderson. People are asking ChatGPT, or they're asking Gemini. So now we're working on how do we appear in those searches? How do we critique the things that we have, say, on the Google search to make sure that it shows up in Gemini, So staying ahead of the trends is mightily important too, But the nice thing when you're on a team like this too, that stuff all rolls downhill. So when I get that information, now once I can start figuring it all out and how I can implement it, my team gets it too. So
So bonus bonus tip question from you. In regards to someone who's wanting to get on social media. Maybe they're not, maybe they're afraid. What percentage or out of how many posts would you go all real estate all the time, or would you do a combination?
Great question. So I can't stand when I go onto an agent's page and it's just this all perfectly curated stuff that was made in Canva, and it doesn't provide any insight into them as a person or any real valuable information. It's just like the classic renting versus buying, or here's an apple pie recipe that was made in whatever, and I'm just like, oh man. And you look at it and it's 2 likes and no comments and you're like, what is this? This isn't, yes, you're posting and you feel like you're doing something, but you're not. So no, I say I don't want to see you be a robot realtor. Now, I'm not saying post stuff, hey, if you don't want to post about your kids, I totally respect that. You don't need to do that. I'm not asking you to post your social security number either, but hey, you went out to a really nice dinner for your birthday. Cool, where'd you go? What steakhouse did you go? What restaurants did you go to? Or, hey, I love going on golf trips with my buddies. Cool, show me that. Let that shine through. Oh, I love going, running or whatever. Okay, cool. I want to know who you are as a realtor, because I think a lot of people leave things on the table because it's like, I know there's plenty of ladies on my team that are moms. There's so many people that are going to connect with that, or whatever you have going on in your life. You're a single parent, you're happily married, you have 2 kids, you have 3 kids, you have 5 kids, you have a dog, you love dogs, you love cats. I don't care what it is. Put it out there so someone can connect with you on that. And they already feel like, oh, cool. I kind of feel like I know this person already. And that's half of, getting the deal locked in place. So let it shine through, man. Show me your personality. To kind of further that point where people are connecting with you and they create an affinity with you on things that aren't real estate. At my home studio, I have a Marshall half stack guitar amp. It's in the back. Partially, one reason it's there is because there's nowhere else for me to really put it in my house that is easily accessible. Right.
But 2 is it's a decoration, but also it lets you know what I'm into as well.
Right.
And so I had a guy reach out. He watched my videos on YouTube, and then he reached out to me. And he's like, "Hey man, oh yeah, there it is." And he pointed it out. And he's like, "Yeah, I knew when I saw that I was talking to the right guy." And that was how the conversation started. And turns out he has 300 guitars, way better guitars than me for sure. I'm not very good at all. But speaking to that point is that he could have connected with anybody talking about any brokerage,
absolutely,
for anything. But he saw that and it was like, oh, this guy's my people.
That's it. Let that shine through. I mean, again, it's funny to me. I'm, like I said at the beginning of this, I'm originally from New Jersey. I still have my 908 New Jersey number. But guess what? There's a hell of a lot of people out here from the East Coast. So if someone says, "You're from Jersey," and they know that it's a 9, it's over. They're mine. They're not going anywhere else, So let your personality, your past, your future, whatever it is, let that shine through. Yeah.
Awesome. No, that's awesome. I really appreciate all that. Yeah. So if someone were to want to learn more about either simpliHŌM or even joining your team, what's the best way they can get in contact with you?
Just shoot me a text, man. That's my personal cell phone number, 908-601-6881. Shoot me a text. Let's go grab a cup of coffee, sit down. Me and Lisa are meeting with another agent on Tuesday. I like that. I'm a face-to-face guy. Shake your hand, look you in the eye, tell me a little bit about yourself, kind of similar to stuff to what we're doing here. And the coffee's on me. So,
Awesome.
Absolutely.
James, it's been a pleasure. Thanks
Absolutely,
so much.
My friend. Anytime, man.
Yep. All right.
Thanks so much.
Yep.